Who are the indigenous peoples of Siberia? Hi! Let's take a rather strange tour today. We love to explore an extensive geographical region of Asia. This region comprises all of North Asia. It spans the Ural Mountains in the west and the Pacific Ocean in the east. If you have an average geographical incline, you're likely to have arrived at the right conclusion about the place we're exploring. Yes, you got it right. We're having a peep into Siberia. But we're interested not in just a geographical location, we're exploring the original inhabitants of the space. We hereby invite you to join us in unraveling the question, who are the indigenous people of Siberia? Overview of Siberia. But before we go too deep into this, we need to provide ourselves with an overview of Siberia so that we can appreciate the home of the indigenous people of Siberia. It's a vast region that spans the northern part of the Asian continent and forms the Asiatic portion of Russia. Siberia actually falls into 4 major geographic regions. There is no single way to define the boundaries of Siberia because it is actually a geographic and historic concept rather than a political entity. So don't bother yourself defining its territorial borders. Still, geographers seem to agree that this geographical region covers an area of 13,100,000 square kilometers. The residents of this geographical entity are known as Siberians. The population of Siberians currently living in their home is 36.8 million. Siberia is known for its long, harsh winters. In January, it can be as cold as minus 25 degrees centigrade. Although it is on the Asian continent geographically, the region has been rendered culturally and ethnically European, thanks or no thanks to Russian colonization since the 16th century. In fact, over 85% of residents of Siberia are of European descent, chiefly Russian. They comprise the Siberian sub-ethnic group. For that reason, Eastern Slavic cultural influences can be seen throughout the region. History of Siberian people. The origin of the name Siberia is uncertain. The name Siberia was first mentioned in Russian chronicles at the start of the 15th century. The Russian name Yugra was applied to the lands east of the Urals. In an 11th century document, the region is called the Siberian land. Some sources claim that the word Siberia originates from the Siberian Tatar word Sib-ir, meaning sleeping land. Other people say that the region was named after the people called Sibe. Another possible etymology is that the word is likely a combination of 2 Turkic words, su, meaning water, and bir, meaning wild land. Yet another account puts the origin of the name as coming from the ancient tribal ethnonym Sirtya Syopyr, a hypothetical Paleo-Asiatic, an ethnic group assimilated by the Nenets. Also, a Mongolist, György Kara, on his own, posits that the name is derived from the Mongolic word Sibir, which has some connection with the modern word Buryat sheber, or dense forest. Historically, Siberia has been home to a large variety of different linguistic groups. Some estimates say indigenous peoples numbered about 160,000 by the beginning of the 17th century. However, an 1897 census puts their population at 822,000. According to the 2021 census, about 1,620,000 people were identified as indigenous Siberians. But who are these indigenous people of Siberia? Who are the indigenous people of Siberia? The indigenous people of Siberia are from the extractions of Ainu, Kamchatkan, Mongolic, Nivk, Tungusic, Turkic, Uralic, Yeniseian, Ket, and Yugra. These indigenous Siberians are also identified by their respective languages. Here are some facts about them. The Ainu people. The Ainu people of Siberia are those found on Sakhalin, Hokkaido, the Urals, and the Kamchatka Peninsula. This language is also spoken in the Amur region. Today, unfortunately, the Ainu ethnic group is nearly extinct. You can hardly find them anywhere these days. The last native speakers of the Ainu language can be found only in Hokkaido and Kamchatka. Mongolic people. The Mongolic people are indigenous people of Siberia that has several sub-ethnic groups. Among these are the Buryats. According to the 2010 Russian census, there were 461,389 Buryats in Russia, making them Siberia's second largest ethnic minority group. Their homeland, known as Buryat Republic, is where they are mainly concentrated. The republic is a federal subject of Russia. These are the northernmost major groups of the Mongols. Buryats also live in and around Ulan-Ude, while many of them live more traditionally in the countryside away from Ulan-Ude, the capital of the republic. They speak the language called Buryat. Another Mongolic people are the Hamnigans, a Mongolic ethno-linguistic subgroup. They're mostly found in Zabayalsky Krai, Russia and China. In the Altai Republic and Altai Krai in Russia, we surprisingly find a community of Altai Oryats, though the government does not recognize them as a distinct ethnic group. Paleo-Siberian peoples. This is a broad description of the indigenous people comprised of 4 small language families who are isolated Siberians. The first among them is a Chukotko-Kamchatkan. The Chukotko-Kamchatkan family is sometimes known as a Lora-Vetlan. This language family includes Chukchi together with its close relatives Alutor, Kerek, Koryak, and Atelmen. These languages together with Chukchi minus Kerek are spoken by communities numbering in the dozens to thousands in easternmost Siberia. Unfortunately, Kerek is now extinct, while Atelmen is now spoken by fewer than a dozen people, mostly elderly, living in the west coast of Kamchatka. Another language group among the Paleo-Siberian people is known as the Nifk. The Nifk language is spoken in the lower Amur Basin. It is also found in the northern half of Sakhalin Island. These indigenous people of Siberia have experienced a turbulent past, especially in the last century. Yet, we have the Yeniseian, also known as Ket, among the Paleo-Siberian peoples. They are the last known survivor of the Yeniseian family. They are located along the middle of the Yenisei River and its tributaries. These indigenous people of Siberia have recently been believed to be related to the Na-Dene languages of North America. Of course, the hypothesis is still being reviewed for the extent of accuracy among historical linguists. In the past, however, they have been thought to be related to Sino-Tibetan, North Caucasian, and Burushaski. Yukagir is yet another language among the Paleo-Siberian peoples. The speakers of this language, with its 2 mutually unintelligible varieties, can be found among those living in the Kolyma and Indigirka valleys, but it relates to other languages, such as Chovansky, which is spoken further inland and further east, but is now extinct. Tungusic people. The Tungusic people of the indigenous Siberian include the Evenks, who live in the Evenk Autonomous Okrug in Russia. Others among them are the Udej, Ulks, Evans, and Nanai, who are also known as Hezhen. These indigenous peoples of Siberia are known to share a genetic affinity with the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Turkic people. The Turkic people include Altaians, who are living mainly in the Altaian Republic in Russia, with several thousands of them living in Mongolia and China, though they are recognized as a sub-ethnic group only in Russia. In the family of Altaians are Chelkans, Telengets, and Tubalars. Siberian Tatars are also in the family of the Turkic people. They are found in the forests and steppes of western Siberia. Tatars originate from areas stretching from around east of the Ural Mountains to the Russian Yenisei River. They refer to themselves as Uralic Qualic, which means older inhabitants, to distinguish themselves from the more recent Volga Tatar immigrants in the region. Their sub-ethnic group are Baraba Tatars, Chat Tatars, Yushta Tatars, Kalmuk Tatars, and Zobolotny Tatars. Other Turkic peoples are the Chulyms, the Dolgans, the Kakas, the Kumandins, the Shors, the Soyots, the Teluts, the Tofalar, the Tuvans, and the Yakuts. Uralic. Let us end this profiling with the Uralic people. They are the huge indigenous people of Siberia with several subgroups. They are called Ob-Ugrians and speak Ob-Ukric languages. The arguably most prominent people in this family are the Samoyeds. Samoyedic people include northern Samoyedic peoples, mainly the Nenets, the Enets, and the Unganasan. We also have the southern Samoyedic peoples, who are Selkup and Kamisins or Kamas. The 2 other groups, mainly Mator or Motor and Koibal, are now extinct. Surely, the indigenous peoples of Siberia have a lot to inform us about the past. Please tell us about what you knew or have just learned about these humble people. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.